from Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Fort Worth, Texas.
Burr.
This is the Grandpa and Pappy Show, and we welcome everybody in, and hopefully you made it over the deep freeze. That's what we're going to be talking about.
Jeez.
Last week, God almighty.
Christ, it was cold.
Holy mackerel, we were colder than Anchorage, Alaska. If you could believe that.
That's a fact.
That's true.
Probably had more snow than they did, too.
Absolutely.
It's hard to believe the day that all this mess rolled into North Texas, I was in Houston fishing in the Gulf with my son at 71 degrees.
God almighty.
Didn't catch a damn thing but a buzz, but we
Had
had
a good
fun.
time.
We had fun doing it, though, in that big old boat of his.
Yeah, got to see your granddaughter.
Oh, yeah.
It's good to have you back in the saddle, Pappy, and thanks to Special K for sitting in for you.
Good job, K-Bird. You did good.
She did a good job. We appreciate that
I'm not
very
going to let
much.
you do that anymore. I might lose a job.
But my God, I mean, let's talk about this past week.
Oh, hell.
And the winter stuff that hit us was so unexpected.
Oh, man.
I mean, they thought it was going to get cold, but they had no idea. I mean, we were in minus degrees.
Yeah.
That just don't happen in Texas.
Well, Helen and I had to leave the trailer hood. We been shagging with Aunt Lou. She, and very fortunate and blessed in Indian Oaks where Aunt Lou lives. She didn't lose power one time.
Well, that's
We
great.
did lose a satellite signal, but I put up an antenna on our other TV, and we watched all the old shows and had water the whole time, lots of food, and a whole lot of beer.
That's a lot better than here at 1 Biloxi Square.
man.
We did without power for about 36 hours.
I know it. Good
And
Lord.
then after that, it was rolling blackouts, so there's no way we could do a show because about the time we would start, we'd lose power. And then we lost water.
Yeah.
And my God, you folks out there, I'm sure you went through all kinds of hell.
Oh, Lord.
Hell froze over, trust me, last week.
We've got documented evidence right in front of us that shows that our dear friends and family and listeners,
Yeah.
they went through
Our program today focuses on the obstacles that you faced during the Arctic storm. And my goodness, I mean, people around this area, when is the last time you saw Lake Worth freeze over?
the whole damn lake.
The whole lake.
The whole lake. Looked like an ice skating rink.
This picture that you're seeing right behind us
Yeah.
was taken at our good friend Mike and Sherry Lipka's house.
Yep, they're right on the lake.
They're
too,
right
yeah.
on the lake, and as far as you could see. And Mike ventured out, as you can see right there, and chipped some ice from the lake. It was over 2 inches thick from the lake, and it extended all the way, what they call it, to Goat Island from their house.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair piece.
It is, and I mean, people just. I think it wouldn't they, K-Bird? Maybe you could help me on that. Didn't the lake freeze over in 1913 or something like that? Was the last time they did it?
I think it was more like 1930 was the last time that it
Yeah,
did, but it was
that's
much
right.
smaller then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've dredged it out since then, so,
Well, yeah. But it was it was absolutely amazing, as you can see from that chunk of ice that Mike cut out. He said he went out about 4 or 5 feet onto the lake.
He's a big old boy,
And he's
too.
a big boy, and he said then he started hearing the ice crack a little, so he stopped, and he got his crowbar and chipped out that piece of ice that you see right there in the background.
That's crazy.
And that's, it's nuts.
yeah, that's not their backyard. About
From beyond the
the
trees.
very last tree line on, that's the lake.
yeah, that's
that's all lake.
Yeah, that's
But
all
it looks
lake.
like they live on like 600 acres. But,
But it's not.
Look like
That's
a
lake.
winter
Yeah.
wonderland.
but people, the hard part was we didn't have water, and then we had to boil water
Yes, we
to
did.
drink for consumption, and
balling up that yellow snow.
and now people, as their pipes are thawing out, this week is going to
Yeah,
show
to see what
kinda
kind of damage.
damage they have.
And that's what I'm worried about, because when I was on my way home from Houston, I was talking to the Divine One, and she said, well, I said, we still got water at the house? Oh, yeah. This is about 10:30 a.m., right? And I'm looking at my phone, and it says it's 27 degrees in Fort Worth. She said, well, she said, well, I turned it off because the sun's up. I thought, oh, crap.
Here we go.
Oh, crap. Please say it. I said, how long ago? And she said, about 2 hours ago. And
we thought our pipes froze, and we were scared half to death because it's
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, it would be very expensive. And
yeah.
but what
Luckily-
happened is that the electricity to the water pumping plant out at Eagle Mountain Lake had the electricity go out.
Yeah.
So they couldn't pump water, and once they stopped pumping water, and we had our water dripping with a little stream, and on every faucet.
Yeah.
And we go to bed one night, it's doing it, the stream, and we get up next morning, it's not, so we were scared to death.
You just had a long, skinny eye segue.
Yeah, and then we had a friend call and check on us that told us about the power plant, and they had a big, massive water main bust down on Boat Club Lake.
That's right. Yeah, I heard
So,
about that.
they just couldn't get water to anybody.
And for those of you out there that were blessed and fortunate enough to have power, thank your local petroleum industry for that. Because the damn windmills froze up out here.
Yeah, Green
Kudos-
New Deal
kudos
my
to the Green
ass.
New Deal. Kudos to Green New
Green,
Deal.
all right.
Woo, woo.
Hey, OC, you need to
We
get
made
down
it
here
through.
and say, you should have been here last week and show you what that
DB.
Green New Deal will be like.
Put some heaters in them damn windmills, man.
Yeah, yes,
Which is
sir.
what going to be operated by fossil fuel.
That's right. That's a fact. Could you imagine if we were all converted over to electric vehicles?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
The only thing that kept Special K and our mascot Dolly warm is that we had some gas burners on our stove. Now, we would turn them on about 10 minutes and leave them running and get that little area warm. Then we would turn it off for about 30 minutes because we didn't want the carbon monoxide to build up. But
and there's people down south in Houston because it snowed in Houston,
Sure.
And Galveston, all down on south of Houston, it's snowing like crazy. And there was people actually moving their damn gas barbecue pits inside.
it's crazy.
I think
That's
there
crazy.
were 2 children that died from
And
carbon
someone
monoxide
in
poisoning, yeah.
Dallas, they found in her car, in her garage. She went in the garage,
cranked the car up.
cranked the car up to get warm, and died of carbon monoxide poisoning.
The Clintons, that's better known to the Clintons as suicide.
Yes. Unfortunate. Yeah. Well, let's take a look at some of the obstacles you guys faced during last week's. God, it just was just like a
Pandemic.
Arctic storm. Yeah.
Pandemic's a good word for that
My
mess.
goodness, if I wanted to go to Antarctica, I would make a trip
Well,
down there.
and what
but
about
that ain't gonna
our
happen.
buddies, Big Mike's brother, Patrick
and Carol.
Mm-hmm. They live in Pennsylvania. They'll stay in Pennsylvania during the warm months and then flee to Texas to be with family and experience some warm weather.
Yeah.
Hell, it was colder and more snow on the ground than it was back home. So, and they're RVers. So
That's true.
man,
That's
they
true.
froze
Very true.
themselves about half to death, I would imagine.
Well, let's take a look at it. Barry
All right.
Collins said, well, let me count the ways. We had a hotel reservation sold out from under us in Phoenix last Friday.
Yeah.
2, we had to stay an extra day in El Paso or risk dying on the road.
Yeah.
3, our new policy is to start looking for fuel when we're down to 3/4 of the tank. We have checked as many as 8 gas stations and gotten as low as 1/4 of the tank of gas before we found fuel. And 4, when we tried to go out and get some food in San Antonio, it just couldn't be done. Even Walmart, McDonald's, and the grocery stores were closed. And 5, we are almost out of beer.
Oh, no.
And the convenience stores are all closed.
Yeah.
Barry had some other difficulties that he listed, but they were a little bit too numerous to mention here. But Barry, I'm glad you made it home. Everything's good.
And that picture you posted on Facebook, I'm having trouble getting rid of that in my head. It just look like Ahmed. Silence, I kill you.
Thank you.
Big Matt Manister says he worked over 100 hours in the past 9 days.
Good Lord.
I don't have water
Matt.
at the house, and I froze my butt off. He's a big boy. That man would take a whole lot of cold weather to make
Yes,
him
he
chilly.
could.
Yeah.
Our friend Jerry Williamson told us, well, I'm on crutches from an accident that left me with 12 broken ribs,
Ow.
so mobility is an issue at the moment. Luckily for me, my wife is awesome, and I don't have to do much. So, Jerry, we hope
Yeah.
you get well.
Yeah, much juju for a speedy recovery. I've
Absolutely,
had broken
brother.
ribs, and I mean 12 of them. Jesus Christ, man!
I don't know how he did it. He didn't explain, but Jerry, get well, my friend.
And our brother Eddie Dixon said, "Come on, brother. We all went through hell the last 20 hours. It may be the same for some, and some it may be different, but we all went through our own personal hell without power."
That's exactly right, Eddie.
He lives right up the street from Big Mike Sherry
The
in Coldville.
the folks that Pappy just talked about, Carol and Patrick, in the RV down in Waco, she posted. Carol Purvis Karofsky maybe had the funniest response when she said, "Being in the RV camper with Titan and Patrick 24/7." Now Patrick's about 6'5".
Titan's a big old German Shepherd.
Yes, he is in that little RV and it couldn't get out. So
Oh man, I bet they froze her backside off. Jennifer Hoopengarner Thomas said that my mom is a major ass complainer. Isn't everybody's mom, Jen? She is ready to go back to North Carolina, and to be honest, I'm about ready also. No power for almost 48 hours, boil water directives, and one frozen pipe. I'm sick of this crap too. But you know what, Jen? That storm hung a hard ride and a little bit slightly to the north. I talked to my sister, and she said it's getting chilly up in North Carolina. So I imagine they got their share of snow too.
I'm
So.
sure. Mike Mackey said, well, we lost power on Monday morning at 5 a.m. and it was finally restored on Tuesday afternoon at 3:45. We lost water on Monday afternoon at 1:21 p.m. and it was restored in a non-potable manner at 6:15. Cell service was lost Monday at 11 a.m.
Yep.
and we had to leave our home to communicate to anyone.
Just like the good old days, huh,
Mike, are you keeping a diary, brother? That's what. He's awful specific
I
on
don't know if he's keeping a
times.
diary or not, but I guarantee you he's not going to forget these moments. You know, it kind of brings to mind, and I've often thought this: how in the hell did the pioneers make it back in the wagon days?
Well,
you
they
know?
were a lot tougher than we are, I'm telling you.
They didn't want. They just looking for. The only complaint they had was probably food and a place to go poop. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
And here's a
That's true.
good one. Our buddy Brent Hardy said he's had to work from home with a house full of people.
Well, I'll bet the concentration levels were low.
But I bet there's a lot of chagrining going on.
That's
Oh,
right.
Brent's a funny guy.
Yeah, he is. Jamie Ward from Mississippi said she had no problems. I left for Florida just hours before it started, and I'm not coming home till the weekend.
By God, I'm not
There you go.
Y'all just stay up there till springtime, you know. What
There you
the
go,
hell.
Jamie.
Marcus Wiley said we had no electricity or running water for over 2 days. We have 3 kids who were bored out of their minds, driving us crazy, and we learned we should have something in the house to entertain them. Geez, no TV, no iPad, no computer. You get the picture.
Yeah, and all those kids.
I was telling Jack when we had no power most of the day, Monday night, Tuesday. I
yeah.
was playing solitaire with actual cards.
Not
Say
on the
it isn't
computer.
so.
Say it isn't so.
You remember how that's done, do you?
I do. I played it all day long, and I told
She
Jack,
sure
I said,
did.
you need to find something to do.
That's right.
So I picked up a book and started reading.
There you go.
Good
I've
Lord.
been asleep in about 5 minutes.
My buddy down south, Raj Nadkarni, says no water and power outage for 20 hours. Do I need to continue? No, because we were right there with you, Raj.
Yeah, that's a fact. Billy J. Thomas said simply, I froze my royal ass off till the power came back. And my eldest number 1 son, Jason Terry, said, He had no milk.
Oh my God. Holy
Said
mackerel.
all the cows are froze.
Well, you can see a lot of people have the same problems, but it's still funny to read your comments. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of your comments as we read them to everyone today.
Right after this.
That's right. Well, we are back.
Yeah.
And Janice Sue Barker had perhaps the most optimistic view when she said, "Hey, everyone, let's put on our big girl man pull-ups and make happy memories of this. Hating and complaining doesn't get water and electricity back on.
That's a fact.
While we complain, a lot of our friends are working around the clock in the -degree weather to try to make all of us happy campers. We will probably not see this kind of weather again in our lifetime, so buckle up, Buttercup."
They said we wouldn't see this kind of weather back in the 30s, too, in our lifetime, but
Well, that's
Surprise.
70 years ago.
yeah. James O'Donnell answered Janice by saying, "I'm just a dumb redneck." Welcome to my world. We always have a stockpile of food, gas, propane heat, and wood stove. Plenty of propane so I can keep the dogs warm in the shop. We waterfowl hunt, so I have clothes especially suited for freezing weather. We also have a generator in the shop, so if we lose electricity for too long, we can crank it up and address that issue. Some people make fun of people who live in my lifestyle. We get along just fine.
Yes, sir. And I know James.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Who's
familiar
laughing?
with him, yeah.
Who's laughing now?
Yeah, he was probably all nice and cozy and warm down there.
Well, we're down here freezing our butts off.
Mark Grayson said we were isolated in the house.
Yeah.
I complimented my wife on getting extra groceries before this hit. However, she did forget a few things for me, like making sure I had booze in the cabinet
By
or
God.
cigarettes to last through the weekend.
Ah,
She didn't either. And I was stuck like Chuck for 3 days without either. You talk about going insane.
yeah. I could only imagine,
Mark,
Mark.
I have to admit, I consumed more alcohol last week than I think I've had in the last 2 months.
I drank a pine box full of Irish coffee with Auntie Lou and the Divine One. And
And from what y'all remember, it was pretty good, right?
well, I hadn't said anything about remembering. And a whole bunch of beer. Judy Winterout said she had problems walking to my car and taking the dogs out. Daryl Riddle said there was lots of problems, and Shelley Lance Taft said no electricity for 36 hours and counting. Boom.
Now, all of you folks remember
That's awful.
last
That is awful.
Wednesday week when this all started, we started getting a little bit of freezing rain in parts of Fort Worth that led to a massive traffic accident.
Oh Lord,
It was terrible.
yeah, I saw that while we were out in the middle of the Gulf.
Yeah, over 57 people were taken to local hospitals for treatment, and I believe the death count
6.
now was 8.
8? Really?
Have died
Wow.
as a result of that.
Well, actually, I didn't see it on my phone because my phone took a swim in the ocean. But Jordan told me.
Yeah, well, you and those phones.
And this one wasn't even on purpose.
I heard that. Leanne Williams Logan said she learned that I will never live up north. This weather is crap. Mike Norrell said, "Yep, I'll take my chances on living in Texas. Besides, we probably won't see another weather phenomenon like this again."
I can only certainly hope.
Maybe in our lifetime, yeah.
Yeah. Philip Oral said, I drove a maximum of 50 miles per hour on 707 to make it home from work. I've been without running water since Saturday, and I've lost power 3 times and just lost it again. I made fire with snow.
Bone broth.
Bone broth.
That's a new one on me, I gotta
My
say.
God, if that ain't going prehistoric, I don't know what is.
Yeah,
Bone
I wonder
broth.
whose bone it was. That's what I'm asking.
Well, he happens to be a single man now, so I hear.
It might have been the dog, you never know.
That's right.
Glenda Hardy said our pipes are frozen in the kitchen and one of our showers. I thank God Our other bathroom is functional.
Yeah.
I'm praying for people who are outside working in this weather and for those who do not have a place to go. Now, remember,
Yeah.
we got most of these comments last during the cold weather, so these are going to sound like it's happening today, but it's not. Everything is thawed out.
It's
Thank
going to
God.
be 68 degrees today.
Got 70 degrees Sunday here in Fort Worth.
And what was Sherry's thing about the birds?
But the
Oh,
robins-
Did y'all already say
yeah,
that?
no. Our friend Sherry Lipka said, can you imagine what the birds flying south for the winter said? I bet they're really pissed off about it.
oh shit! Turn around, headed back the other way. We're going back to Alaska. Brett Barker said, "My mom, who is 88 years old, had no heat since Monday at 6 a.m. and I'm working in D.C. I feel so bad they can't get their car out of the driveway." John Sawyer said his problem was getting the dogs to go potty on the snow.
Well, our mascot, Miss Dolly, she first time she went out through her doggy door to do her number, she was real quick and came right back in, but then she thought it was kind of fun, so she kept going outside all
She's
day.
never seen snow before, has she?
Yeah, she did
Has she?
once. Yeah, she sure did.
Wow.
Mandy Payne Hill said it was trying to keep water to our horses. Ryan Keck said for him, it was being cold. I hate being cold. And Thomas Sharp said, I was running out of beer.
And that is a big dilemma for old Tom.
Heard that.
He's like me, you got to have that beer. Sean Paul Riggs said 26 hours without water, heat, and electricity. I hate it here. It's I'm glad you cleaned this up, by the way.
I did.
It's poop on top of poop in the toilet. Avery Sanchez said no electricity for over 30 hours.
Holy mackerel, I could only...
Sean,
You
I
know,
hope
we
that
got a
worked
little
out.
advanced warning. Karen's niece down in Houston said that Houston was preparing its residents for all this moving in and told them to stock up on water
Yeah.
and fill up your bathtubs. And Karen did fill up one of our bathtubs.
For potty flushing.
Yeah, for potty flushing, so we could fill up the tank.
I'm silly. I use mine for taking a bath.
Yeah, well, it was nice to be able to use the toilet. I will say that.
Potty outside, bathe inside.
Yeah. Joey Thiebaud said it was a lack of seasoned wood to burn, but thankful we had a non-electric source. Still worry about the creosote buildup, though.
So built up.
Yep.
They live up yonder, north. Becky Holdren said she had no power since 7 a.m. and the water went off sometime yesterday, too. There was no information on when either would be back on. My dad came and got me and Zachary yesterday, and Steve is here today.
Well, good. I'm glad everything's back to
This
normal
is
for you, Becky.
Steve is the divine Miss Helen's son.
Oh, I got
And
you.
Becky being daughter-in-law, Zachary grandson. They live out I-20, close to your stomping grounds out there.
It's out in Mineola, right?
That's
Where they
exactly
live?
where it is.
Yeah.
Little spot on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stephanie Jean Riddell said no water and at times no electricity. We've been getting snow and melting it on the stove when the electricity does come on. Jerry Blum said he got a twisted ankle.
Yeah. Saw Big Jerry last night or yesterday at the field office.
Big Jerry, hope that ankle is getting a lot better, my friend.
Yeah, you holler at me if you need anything else.
Absolutely. Either one of us.
Yep. Billy Mitchell said it was an all-around cluster for everyone. I don't believe no one thought it would get this bad, even state officials who were caught with their britches down. They always got their pants down for something. We were a hair away from every power grid in the state totally shutting down. I know we bitched about rolling blackouts, including me, but in retrospect, that is what saved the power grids and allowed us to get some heat at times. We lucked out, fellas.
Yes, we did.
And you're right, Billy. It could have been a whole lot worse.
And our great governor, Abbott, has really declared war, if you want to say.
He's had about enough, hasn't he?
He is going to make sure this never happens again. He was telling a nationwide audience on Newsmax the other night that with the state of Texas, we've got more natural resources than we'll ever use in 13, 14 lifetimes. He said, I'm going to make sure that we're never caught like this again.
Good.
So that is going to be meaning power stations that are powered by gas, oil, coal,
Yeah.
and solar.
And it will continue to be our own individual grid, which a lot of people are having a problem with outside of the state of Texas. But
That's true. That's true.
yeah,
Ron Powers wound up the comments today by agreeing with Billy, saying it taught state officials a valuable lesson.
yep.
We're sitting on more natural resources in Texas than anyone else in the country. Governor Abbott is fighting mad in that we have not utilized these resources to make sure Texans never have to go without electricity. He is appointing a committee to look into our grid system, and I believe we will see more power plants being built and being generated by oil, natural gas, and coal, like I was just saying.
Just open up the ones that's been shut down, and we'll probably do
that
just
was,
okay fine.
What was it, three big power plants in the state of Texas?
Yeah, one of them not too far from us.
That were closed down because they ran on oil, gas, and coal.
Greenpeace.
And the Houston mayor, who is a Democrat of all people, was absolutely fighting mad. I mean, he was upset that Texas, with all of what we were talking about, its resources, didn't have enough power plants available to keep Texans warm in the winter and cool during the summer.
I mean, they don't have that problem up north, and that's frozen tundraville up there, like Minnesota and
Sure
up
it
in
is.
there. I mean,
Sure it is.
They don't have wind turbines up there.
I know it.
That's true.
Therein lies my problem.
Well, we certainly hope all of you came through it okay. Like I say, this week, as Karen mentioned, we're going to find out just exactly how bad the damage is now that everything is thawed out and the snow and ice is gone.
All you plumbers
find
and
out.
electricians, y'all about to get rich this week. By God.
Well, let's take a look at some of the viewer comments we got in.
Alrighty.
Pardon me. Stephanie Williams said the minimum wage being $15 an hour won't do any good because historically prices always go up while wages don't.
Yep.
You can make $15 an hour, but gas, groceries, and utilities will double with it.
Exactly. That's the way it's been in our lifetime.
Excuse me.
I mean, if they raise the minimum wage $15 an hour, why can't they raise Social Security too?
Yes.
By God.
Great question.
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah, we might make. In fact, I think that's been posted on our Facebook page.
Sure
as a
has.
question. Ray Garcia replied to our show on Mark Cuban. He said, even though Cuban was ordered to start playing our national anthem before games again, he just pissed off his loyal Maverick fans. That's a fact.
He did.
When will you stop listening to those rich, spoiled athletes and start listening to those who have paid their salaries with their purchases and attendance?
Very good point, Ray.
Well said, Ray.
Barbara Whiteside Conley also commented on Mark Cuban by saying every country in the world has an anthem. Spain, Canada, South Korea, you name it, and they play it.
They don't have a problem
Mark,
with
you
it.
don't Mark, you don't need to throw the patriotic values of our country out in order to make a few bucks. You're smarter than that. Or at least we thought you were.
You know, it's okay to be smart and
Way to
rich,
go,
but
Babs.
when you're greedy and a monger for it, that's just not right. I never liked the damn game anyway.
Ain't it so?
give them 100 points each and 2 minutes to play. You know, I mean that's what it comes down to.
That's basically it.
Last but not least, Jimmy Green said, I was happy to see President Trump acquitted in the Senate. If Pelosi can bring all those charges up against the president, why can't the House and Senate bring up charges against her? I think they're working on that. Maxine Waters, Kamala Harris, and others who encouraged discord and rioting.
Good.
Turnabout is fair play.
Yeah. Time.
Good. That's a good question, Jimmy.
It really is.
One that probably 77 million Americans are wondering as we speak.
Ain't it so?
Yeah, thanks for sending that in.
Absolutely. Yeah. We appreciate everybody's comments today, and there's easy ways that you can send us comments.
Yeah, tell me one.
Or any suggestions you may have for an upcoming show. You can go to our Gmail account at grandpaandpappy@gmail.com. grandpaandpappyshow.com.
That's a fact.
Or
you can simply hit us up on our show website, which can be found at www.grandpaandpappy.com. That's grandpa, the letter N, pappy.com, where you'll see, pink, that red button right there. Push it. Come up with a little silly password, subscribe. We love subscribers. Growing in leaps and bounds as we speak.
and you can also go to our Grandpa and Pappy Facebook group page,
Right.
where you'll see 99% of the comments that we get here on the Grandpa and Pappy Show before they're even aired.
Most of them is before Mr. Goody Two Shoes gets a chance to edit them. That's the ones I like. They make me giggle.
Yeah,
And there are there's buttons on our website that'll take you. We're YouTube driven. It'll take you directly to YouTube, or you can go to our Facebook podcast page just simply by hitting the button. Or there's Instagram and whatever else Special K's got attached to all that.
As we wrap up, there's one thing I do want to say. I am so proud of you fellow Texans out there that got out and helped your neighbors.
Oh, absolutely.
I know here in the neighborhood where Karen and I live, we had people coming around the house all the time checking on us, making sure everything was okay. We, along with my very next door neighbor, are the only seniors, should I say, on our whole block. The rest of them are younger folks. And boy, they were out there trudging in that ice and snow and -degree weather.
Very common.
Knocking on our door, making sure it was okay. And our neighbor Nick across the street fired up his grill outside, made a big old brisket, and bought us a big old pan of hot brisket.
And you didn't bother to call me. I've got 4-wheel drive, you know. I even offered to bring you a bottle of water.
So, Nick, thank you very much for that. I am so proud of you Texans. We always get it done. We just get it done.
Well, get her done.
Hope you enjoyed the show today.
I
We
know I
enjoyed
did.
being back with you. Happy to have my pal back in the saddle.
Yeah, it's good to be home.
We'll be seeing you a little bit later on this week with another edition of the Grandpa and Pappy Show. But we always end our show by saying, hug your kids and let them know you love them.
Let them know they're well loved right here at the Grandpa and Pappy Show, too, by God.
Absolutely. So until we see you next time, take care of one another, everyone. Be nice.
Do that.
And we'll see you back on Friday.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye now.